welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. Tonight's video is going to be based on children that can see spirit, and I guess I'm aiming more at the parents of children who can see spirit and how to deal with that side of things. And I have over the years come across a few children who can see spirit and obviously passed on what they see to their parents, and then I've got called in. So it's an interesting subject, and it's one that's very difficult to deal with because a lot of parents just don't know how to deal with it, basically. Now, we all know that children are sometimes born with this gift that they can see spirit from a very early age. A lot of children, and that includes myself, never questioned it. As a child, you just accept it, and it wasn't spoken about in my family at all. Spiritualism, religion, anything like that, ghosts, you name it, was never spoken about. So for me, I guess I just accepted it. So a lot of children have imaginary friends who they play with out in the garden, in the bedroom, and they sit there talking away and seem to be having a whale of a time with their what we call imaginary friends. Now, obviously, the question is, are they imaginary or are they purely spirit? For me, I believe 9 times out of 10 they are purely spirit. They're not something that the child's just made up in their head. They can see them, they are real to them, and they play with them, and like I said, talk with them. So what do we do as a parent if a child mentions that to us, that they can see a spirit? They've got a spirit friend, be it a little girl, a little boy, whatever. How do we deal with that? Now, for me personally, this is just my opinion on this, but I believe it's something that we shouldn't necessarily make a big fuss about, because this does sometimes tend just to fade away as the child grows older. It just fades away and never to be spoken of again. That seems to be what happens more so than not. I don't believe, if we think this child has a gift, that we should try and push this, that we should try and promote this. I think if it's mentioned to us, we should just accept it. We certainly shouldn't dismiss the idea that it's in the child's head at all. We should just accept it. Yeah, that's fine, okay. Maybe talk about it if the child wants to talk about it, but we certainly should not push them to talk about what they see and what they hear. Obviously, it's a different thing if the child becomes frightened or scared. Now, for me, I cannot see why a spirit energy would frighten a child. A true spirit energy simply wouldn't do that. If they thought for 1 minute they were scaring that child, they would simply disappear, never to be seen again. They would not do that to a child. So that's why I think we see a lot of children who simply just accept the fact that that energy is there. They're not scared by it, they're not frightened by it. And I think there is also an awareness in most children of the presence of energies, of the presence of spirit around them. It's something that we don't tend to grow out of as such. I think it's more driven out of us as we become bogged down in the rat race, if you like. So our minds become clouded with all that. Off to school we go, and our brains get filled with all these weird and wonderful lessons that we are taught. So yeah, definitely don't poo-poo the idea, pardon my French. Certainly don't do that, and also don't promote and push it, okay? And I've seen it before where a parent will speak quite openly about it in front of the child, to their friends, to their neighbours. The child sat there, and you shouldn't do that. You should not bring this up in front of the child when you're talking about it to your friends. And like I said, it's a different thing if it frightens that child. The thing is with gifted children, and there are many, many gifted children, the thing is they start to feel that they don't fit in, they have this awareness that just does not fit into everyday going to school and having friends and joining in with the rest of the crowd, if you like. So sometimes they can suffer, these sensitive children can suffer quite severely. And that's why I say not to push the fact that they are slightly different, that they can, they are seeing spirit. We don't need to push that idea with them. We just need to let them find their own way to deal with this. So we don't make mountains out of it, that's for sure. Just let the child take their natural course with it, if you like. If a child wants to work with this, then obviously it's depending on the age of the child, but if a child wants to work with spirit and wants to understand what's happening, then let them do it at their own pace, let them find their own way. Okay, because your idea of what they should be doing with this gift and their idea of what they should be doing with it may be something completely different. If they are to work with spirit, it will happen. If that is on their path to work as a light worker, it will happen. Okay, it doesn't need mum or dad or whoever to promote or to push. So just let them be. And the most important thing as well is that they can be children. So they need to be able to do all the things that children do. Okay, we can't pull them out of the crowd, if you like, and try and make a medium out of them. We shouldn't be doing that at all. We should just let them take their own course with the gift that they have. So in other words, just let it be and let it ride, because like I said, 9 times out of 10 is something that would probably fade anyway. And when it fades and they start becoming part of that crowd and enjoying their childhood, there's a good chance maybe when they're older that they will decide to work with their gift, and it may be something that they decide to do either as maybe a part-time hobby or whatever. They may decide to work with it, but then that must be their choice and not mum and dad's. That's for sure. So no, I believe that a lot of gifted children who are very, very sensitive children will suffer at some stage in their childhood. There's an air of vulnerability about these gifted children, and a lot of negativity can be brought into their lives by those who see that vulnerability. So it's important that we don't overprotect, but we just keep a close eye onto what's happening. And I think the problem is today, life is very, very difficult. It's very competitive, and a sensitive child finds it very, very difficult to fit into that. My heartfelt opinion is that child who is sensitive and doesn't fit in is probably someone who is very special, who is somebody that we'd all like as a friend, as an adult in years to come, because they are more real than many of the plastic people that we see nowadays. So if they decide they don't want to go out and mix with the crowd, then fine, but you just have to keep a close eye on that. And they will probably, those kind of children tend to have maybe just 1 or 2 special friends that they are close to, and they don't tend to hang about in crowds anyway, because it's not something that suits them, being a sensitive person. So it's important that we allow them to be, but at the same time just keeping a close eye on them. And it's not easy, and I think a lot of problems for children of today is the fact that it's so competitive out there, and it's so materialistic out there, and like I said, a sensitive child will not fit into that, not easily, and will struggle with it. And the problem is that's how the world is now. So it's going to get harder and harder, I guess, for these children to fit. Hopefully things will change, you never know, but it's important that we let them be children. And I don't want to repeat myself too much, but keep a close eye, but let them be. Don't promote their gift, and certainly do not poo-poo their gift. Don't make a joke of it. Okay, they are a special child, and they should be treated as a special child. You don't wrap them up in cotton wool, but just keep that extra close eye on them, because who knows, one day they may decide to work with that gift, but that's their decision, and obviously not ours. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's just a short video, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Take care. Please like the video, and also please subscribe, because there's a lot more videos coming up very shortly, and I'll be doing some live readings as well, where you can all come along, and I'll get the links built up for those when they happen. So take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you. Bye for now.